Religion is a fallacy because it is an idea without God. But we've been taught for many years that we need to have religion so that we can get to see who God is. But the truth is, we cannot embrace the entirety of what religion has so that we can get to identify ourselves with who God is. It is quite unfortunate. When you get into the religious books, you're going to find that God did not have any intention to come about with religion. Humanity has been in the journey trying to seek for something that will fill that emptiness that is within you. And humanity has blinded itself from the reality of what it should seek. And that is why many have fallen into the hands of people that are greedy and that will take advantage of who they are. And that is why when people become awakened, when the truth becomes a reality of what is, of what it should be, especially in this generation currently, people tend to think that most of us are losing our minds. But I want to make it clear to us so that we can be able to understand the realities of God. When you get into the very good book, the Bible itself, and you study the scriptures with intention, you're going to find the character of God. God from beginning never had no intention to come about with religion. And that is why the Bible tells us very clearly concerning true religion. True religion is this, taking care of people that are in need. And that is fundamental. But now, what were the intentions of God? Because God's character was not to allow humanity to experience protocols that were designed by humanity to make them think that God is far off. And that is why it is important to just do due diligence to seek for these things. You have to get into the depth of it all to grasp the reality of the intentions of God concerning humanity. Look at what God speaks when it comes to his character towards humanity. When you go in the book of John chapter 3 verse 16, a very beautiful verse that we all know, God sent his only begotten son. That is a very profound verse. The intentions of God was that God himself and humanity can have a relationship. But religion tries to draw us far off because it doesn't want us to realize who we are in God and who God is within us. That is what religion doesn't want you to know. Because religion is big business. Religion is what feeds many people. Religion is what makes people have that kind of notion that they can get it right, when it comes to doing things. Because religion makes you do things. Religion does not reveal to you who God is. Why am I saying this? I've seen people go to churches, mosques, and every other kind of religious institution. And the reason they go to these places, like I said earlier, they are trying to seek for something that will fill their emptiness. But I want to bring you to this very beautiful attention, that the only way you can become is to realize that God has always been close to you than ever before. God has always been close to you like nobody's business. And I want to make it clear once again to you. There are things you cannot behold if you're not willing to understand this. The Bible tells us that my people perish because of lack of knowledge. Knowledge is what differentiates many people from realizing who they're supposed to be. And let me tell you, my dear brothers and sisters, and this is one thing, I know many preachers are not going to accept it because whatever they're doing, it's business for them. They want to create spaces whereby you can be coming and coming without giving you a permanent solution. That is what religion does. It is like the government institutions. How politicians play with our minds. They will never give us a permanent solution because when they solve the problems of this world for you, you will never go back to them. You will never see them as superior. And that is what religious people do. They will give you protocols. You need to pray and fast for 7 days, 30 days. You need to do this and that. But when you study the story of Jesus, you're going to understand those were not the things that he intended for humanity, especially the body of believers. God's purpose for believers is that they come into understanding who God is. Paul puts it much better, that do not be conformed to the patterns of this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. It's all about changing your way of thinking, coming to the truth, seeking what God's intentions were for humanity. But these are the things that are hidden from so many people. And people are subjected still to slavery. And that is why you're still bound to protocols and ideologies that makes you lose your identity. My dear brother and sister, I want to make it clear to you that the purposes of God, the intentions of God, the ideologies of God were revealed in Christ Jesus. And it is for you as a human being to understand these things. It is all about studying, getting the right preachers, the preachers that teach the truth, people that will reveal to you these things. But it is quite unfortunate when people become awakened, as I said earlier, because the Bible tells us once again that the world is waiting for sons of God to be manifested. My dear brother, if you have something that is within you, that is pushing you to speak the truth, you're a son of God. And there is no exemption. God has made it manifest that this mysterious thing can be so evident to us. Christ himself becoming a reality, a beautiful thing that many people did not understand. And it is only for the elect, the people that are opened from within. It is for you to understand, my dear brothers, that religion will never reveal who God is. Religion will never manifest the truth about who God is. If you're not willing to capture that reality, then you will keep on being bound into slavery, especially mental slavery. And that is why I come into this very space to alert you and to allow you to take your time and study the scriptures. The Bible tells us that the Spirit of God will reveal to us these things. So these are mysteries. These are things that are hidden, and it is only for the wise to get it right. And the Spirit of God will reveal to you. Do you know why, when it comes to the body of believers, so many people are playing games? It is because they know that almost 80%, even 90%, they don't know the truth. So they will play with your mind. They will tell you that you need to do things so that you can experience God. You need to bring things. You need to speak in a foreign language to experience the power of God. You know what they say? You need to speak in tongues. You need to tithe. You need to do all these things. Topic of another day. But I want to tell you this very moment that God was made manifest to us in Christ Jesus. And the reality is, my dear brother, that he lives inside of you. The evidence of God is that Christ came into this world. And right now, we have the revelation of who God is in Christ Jesus. He lives inside of you. God is inside of you, my dear brother. There is nothing else you need to worry. God is not far from you. Religion is what is trying to tell you that God is far away, that you need to do these things so that you can go somewhere. There is a God up in the sky. That is what religion does. But my dear brother and sister, God has always been close to you, not far away. Don't pray to God thinking that God is far from you. That is what religion tries to make you think, that when you're praying, you get to feel that God is far from you. Your prayer is not a distance off. Your prayer is just a way of communicating and allowing yourself to understand that God has always been close to you. Commune with God, not a God that is far from you, but God who is close to you in Christ Jesus. My dear brothers, as I conclude, I want to let you know that the intentions of God was that humanity can experience who God is in Christ Jesus. And I want you to understand also that the power that you've been seeking lies within you. God is not far from you. Don't let religion fool you.